Hello YouTube, it is Thursday the 23rd of January and it's a nice day. There's no wind and it's not what you call cold. A bit misty this morning, and this is I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've been up the garden for a fortnight. Not been 100%, but going in the right direction now. So I thought I'd better come and tidy the plot up and get it ready start getting it ready for spring. And I've literally been up here since 8 o'clock, and I think it's about 20 past 11 now. I'll just give you a quick tour around of what's going on. That's me compost heap. That's everything there that I've managed to compost from this last season, 2019 season, and that's only about 18 inches high. I do struggle to make my own compost. Everything goes on it bar the grass cuttings, mainly because I'm paranoid about the weed. And this is some compost that will be going in the bottom of my raised beds in the Polytunnel. That's about 3 years old, that is, and as you can see, that looks quite good. Few things that I've overwintered over here. These are all strawberry runners that I took myself. You can see the fine dew on them from the mist this morning. There's some earlies and some late strawberries, mid-season strawberries. I have some walking onions there. They've been out all winter, and some garlic that I planted up. They've been out all winter as well. You can see the roots are coming through on the surface of those, and I'm sure that they'll be pretty much pot bound, I would think. But they're to go in the polytunnel, they are, to see what the difference is between there in the polytunnel and the ones grown outside. I'll be trying to do a few comparisons with different things. Under here I have Overwintering Potato Challenge, and that's one Sarpomira in there. And the soil was a little bit damp when I planted it, so I've put it under there to give it a bit of cover. But that will stay outside. That won't go inside at all. Moving around slowly. These are also runners I took from strawberries end of last season, and I potted them straight on into these pots as soon as they're taken. And they will also be going in the polytunnel to see if I can get 2 crops off them. They're an early variety, and they are supposed to crop twice. They did crop a second time out in the garden, but the season wasn't long enough for them to ripen up, so we didn't actually eat anything off the second crop. And field beans, I've planted those for a nitrogen fix to overwinter them, which is where my brassicas will go next year. The idea was that I would take the tops out of them, and we'd steam them and eat the tops, and we haven't had any yet, but I think they're just coming up to the right size now to start pinching the tops out. So they've come okay. Not 100% germination, but 99%. And those are my Aqua Dulce. They've been in since October. They've had no protection whatsoever, and we have had -5 here on more than one occasion. Their heads go over, but they do sit back up again. And you can see that there is some burning there, but you can also see that they've got more than one stem, 2 or 3 on most of them, I would think. So they're coming on okay. Should give me about 2 or 3 weeks of an earlier crop, and it is nice to see things growing over the winter period. And another bed there of field beans. These haven't come on quite so quick as the other bed. They're a little bit smaller. Both sown on the same day. Obviously a difference in the compost in one way or another. As you can see, these are definitely a bit taller and a bit more growth about them. The tubs that I had me long carrots and parsnips in, that compost will go into my potato buckets this year. Livened up with a bit of bloodfish and bone, and probably a bit of seaweed meal as well. That was where I had my celery. If anybody knows, I want to put my celery there again next year, because it's the one place that doesn't get over too much sun. So if anybody can tell me whether or not planting celery in the same place is all right. There was no disease with them. They all grew well, and there was no slug damage or anything like that. So I don't know whether they can go in the same bed again. So if anybody can tell me on that one. Most of these beds were topped up in the autumn, and I have been round and weeded them this morning. I've done all the beds this morning. I put a bit of compost on top of my asparagus. I've taken the tops off them, they were all died down. That's the amount of sticks that I picked up off the garden, and I pick that amount up sort of every fortnight, or even every week if we get the winds, off these trees here. Now, if you don't want to invite pigeons down to your plot, pick up those sticks, because them sticks are perfect for pigeons' nests. And when they come down and they see you've got brassicas and other bits and pieces, that's when you're just inviting trouble. So pick your sticks up, because the pigeons will come down for them. Just there you can see that's a self-set sweet pea, and I've left that there just to see how it got on in the winter. I have got some in the greenhouse, which I sowed at the end of November, I think. So I wanted to see how that got on, leaving it outside, and as you can see, I think that's going to grow away nicely. We've had a few frosts, and I don't think that's been detrimental to that at all. So I might try a wigwam or a short row, setting them out in the autumn next year, and see if I can overwinter them outside. And here I have some shallots here. They are coming up, but they don't look very good. I don't think there's any slug damage on them, but no, they don't look the healthiest, but they are all coming up. And there's some overwintering onions. I've never grown them before. They seem okay. That's a trial this year to whether or not I grow them next year. They don't keep very long. The idea is that they fill the hunger gap about June up until your main crop comes, but they will not store. And then the garlic, I've had a couple of misfires there. That's all coming up. Yep, looks okay. And then elephant garlic there, that's always the later one to come up. There's one missing there in the middle. I might just pop another one in. I hate to see gaps in rows. In that pot there and that pot there, 30-litre pots, I've replanted my Jerusalem artichokes. They were in a small pot like that last year, and nowhere near big enough. So I've given them more room. I've got one short row left of parsnips, and they've been okay. No dig beds these are, and the quality of them is very good. Celeriac next to them. Now these haven't bulbed out this year at all. We have had some feeds off them. We are getting just a little bit off them, but I got a feeling I planted those out too soon. If they do get cold when you plant them out, they don't bulb up. That is one problem with them. You need to be set early in the greenhouse, but planted out so they don't get cold at all. So I think that might be the problem with that. Last season I had a real good crop of those, but this season lesson learned, I think there. And these two little pots here, all the little bulbs off the elephant garlic that you get around the base, I planted them all as soon as I harvested my garlic, and apparently they should come into single bulbs this year, and I can just see that there is one popping its head through there. So they've been in since I harvested the elephant garlic, and that's the first one that's shown up. It wasn't here a fortnight ago when I came up the garden. So yep, hopefully I'll get a few of those single bulbs to plant out next season. That's what's left of the beetroot. We had 3 rows there, 2 red, and that's a yellow beet there. Yellow beet didn't grow as well through the winter, and there's only some very tiny bulbs on them, so we'll get those out pretty soon. Strawberries, I had plenty of runners off these, as you've seen, and I put them in pots, but I have let these other runners spill over, and I will be potting a few more of these up. If I just pull them out very gently, that will pot on no problem into a pot with some compost, and it'll give me some more plants. I might put some more in the polytunnel, or maybe even start a new bed off. This one here is 2 years old now, and so is that one over there. This one was planted up last year, so I think I'll start a new bed off with those, but I will pull those up and get them potted on into some compost. If you do order runners, they come and they are dry and they've all wilted, and you think, goodness, they're not going to take. So I'm sure that if I get them in a pot as they are, they'll just romp away. Brassicas, I have had some problems with brassicas. They had whitefly, and I sprayed them with neem oil, and I'm pretty sure that the neem oil has stopped the growth on them. The reason I say that, now I haven't tidied these up, I've just left them as they are so as I can show you. These have been in since September, and since I sprayed them, the growth on them has been virtually, well, nothing in some of them. You can see the shiny leaves. Those are the leaves that sprayed, and the lighter coloured leaves are the ones which have grown since. Now, spraying them with neem oil definitely knocked them back. The leaves that I sprayed didn't grow anymore, and it's taken so long for new growth to come. The cabbages there, you can see the new growth and you can see the old growth, and I'm pretty sure it's probably down to me making us too much of a stronger mixture with the neem oil. You can see there on the kale, the old leaves there, they just sat there and sulked for ages, and this new growth that's come on has taken so long. I would have expected that kale to be a lot larger than what it is, and the cabbages also to be a lot larger, but it's taken so long for new growth to come. So if people could just let me know in the comments what mixture they do their neem oil. Somebody did say recently on a live chat that it's 5 to 1, and it was expensive to use. Well, I think 5 to 1 is far too strong, and I also know that you need a soap with a fairy liquid or something like that. The best ones are the purple sprouting, and you can see that they are starting to get some heads in there, and I'm pretty sure I didn't spray them as much. They didn't have the whitefly. The whitefly was on the rest. We have had some little collies, and as you can see, there's still some collies coming. The frost has looks like it's got into that, but they'll still eat okay. But like I say, I purposely haven't cleared this bed yet to show you exactly what's going on. I've got nothing to hide. Not a pretty picture. So yeah, live and learn. If anybody can help me out on that. I have kept one of the roots off one of them. You can see the damage from the slugs when you let the leaves touch the ground mainly. But I did keep the root off this one, just to show you that there's no club root. I've never had club root here. I do take precautions with lime. There's a ring of lime around every plant when I plant them out, and I don't buy in, and I don't have plants of other people. People with the kind hearts, they offer their plants about, but that's how you can introduce it to your plot. Don't know if you can see the polytunnel there. That should be getting covered tomorrow and over the weekend. It's taken a lot longer than I expected. My dad and I have been doing it together, and it's been a pleasure to do it with my dad. I couldn't have done it without his help. It's definitely a two-man job, and yeah, I'm sure we're a lot slower than other people, but we know everything there is right and straight. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to get covered this weekend. It is a bit cooler, the weather, than I would have liked, so I won't be stretching it completely. I shall leave some room for so as I can stretch it when the weather does get a bit warmer, to make sure that it is as tight as a drum. I shan't stretch it to its full capacity at the moment. So just a very quick tour. As you can see, I'm pretty much ready for spring. I felt a bit behind with being poorly and not getting out, but once I got out here, I spent 3 hours out here, and as you can see, everything's pretty much ready to go. I've weeded all the beds, like I said, and that was the extent of the weeds that I got. And half that bucket, I think, is probably leaves. And I haven't weeded since I did my harvest and put the compost on in October, November. Hope you're all keeping well. Many thanks for all your comments. I shall be showing you the greenhouse next, I expect, or the polytunnel with a cover on. Hopefully the latter. So take care, everybody. Please leave your comments. We learn from these comments. It's great to share. If I'm doing something wrong, I want to know about it so as I can rectify it. And I don't mind showing anybody my mistakes. So if you can learn from my mistakes, then that's a bonus. Please give the thumbs up if you like what you see, and press the subscribe button and the bell. And here's to a new season, and may all your weeds be little ones. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.